What if I told you that the real secret to real fluency is not learning more grammar or memorizing long vocabulary lists, but learning how to think directly in English? Many learners spend years studying, and they still feel slow, shy, or blocked when they speak. The problem is not knowledge. The problem is translation. When your brain hears something, changes it to your language, thinks of an answer, and then translates the answer back to English, everything becomes slow and stressful. It feels heavy, and it steals your confidence. But imagine speaking without that delay. Imagine English words coming to your mind naturally, without stopping or translating. Thinking in English is the skill that unlocks this. In this episode, you will discover how translation hurts your fluency, how to train your brain to think in English, and how to create daily habits that make English feel like a natural part of your life. And remember, this is more than language. When you change the way you think, you also change the way you communicate, express yourself, and connect with the world. Stay until the end, because the techniques you learn here can transform both your English and your confidence in life. And if this lesson gave you something useful, I'd love it if you tapped like and subscribe to the channel. It helps you stay connected, and it also helps this little learning community grow. Every click really does make a difference. With love, let's dive in. Why does translating in your head slow you down? When you translate every sentence, your brain becomes tired very quickly. Translation uses a lot of mental energy because your mind is doing two jobs at the same time, understanding English and changing it into your first language. While you speak, your brain repeats the same process in reverse. This creates hesitation, long pauses, and sometimes complete silence. You know the words, but you cannot say them fast enough. That is why many learners feel frustrated. They think they are bad at speaking, but the real problem is the translation habit. Thinking directly in English stops this heavy process. It gives your brain a faster path to communication. Even simple sentences like, "How was your day?" or "The food smells good" become easier. Fluency is not only about advanced vocabulary. Fluency means your brain responds automatically. And automatic thinking only happens when your thoughts begin in English, not after translation. Do not worry if this feels difficult at first. Every learner experiences it. The important thing is understanding that translation is a habit, and habits can be changed. With the right techniques, your brain can learn a new, faster, and more confident way to speak. How do you know if you are still translating? You can discover this by noticing your reactions. When someone asks you a simple question, do you pause to build a sentence in your language first? When you try to express an idea, do you hear your native language inside your mind? If you feel nervous before speaking, it may be because your brain is preparing to translate. Another sign is when you understand English while reading or listening, but speaking feels slow. That means you can receive information, but your brain is not producing it fast enough. Many learners think this is a lack of vocabulary, but usually it is the translation habit blocking the flow. There is nothing wrong with you. It is completely normal. The first step is awareness. When you begin to notice the translation moments, your brain is already changing. You can even laugh at them instead of feeling frustrated. Thinking in English does not mean thinking perfect sentences. It means allowing English words, even simple ones, to appear first. You do not need to be advanced to start. You can begin right now with small thoughts, short phrases, and simple descriptions. Each tiny step trains your brain for natural fluency. How can you shift your mindset from student to English user? A powerful shift happens when you stop seeing English as a school subject and start seeing it as a tool for life. Many learners study the language, but they do not live in it. They wait for the right time to speak. They wait for perfect grammar. They wait until they feel ready. But fluency does not grow from waiting. Fluency grows from using the language, even with mistakes. One simple technique is narrating your day in your head using English. You can think, I'm going to make breakfast. I need to wash my hands. This tea smells nice. These small sentences teach your brain to think in English naturally. Another mindset shift is accepting mistakes. When you judge yourself, your brain becomes nervous and returns to translation because it feels safer. But when you relax, your brain stays in English, even when you are missing a word. The goal is not speaking perfect English. The goal is speaking naturally and confidently. When you stop trying to be a top student and start acting like a real English user, you will see fast progress. The language begins to feel more like a part of your life and less like a school lesson. How can you create an English environment at home? Many learners believe they cannot improve because they do not live in an English-speaking country. But today, you can surround yourself with English anywhere. You can change your phone, laptop, and apps to English. You can watch shows with English subtitles, listen to podcasts, or follow English-speaking creators who talk about topics you enjoy. When English becomes part of your entertainment, your brain learns without pressure. You can also label everyday objects in your house. Put small notes that say mirror, fridge, remote, or toothpaste. Seeing these words daily makes them automatic. If you want more practice, use AI tools or language apps that let you speak or chat, even when you are alone. You do not need a native speaker next to you. You can create a full English bubble with technology. The more English you hear and see, the more your brain accepts it as normal. Fluency grows when you meet English every day in small and simple moments. You do not need big study sessions. You only need regular contact. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can create a strong change in your thinking. What exercises help train your brain to think in English? There are simple but powerful exercises that you can do anywhere. One of them is describing your surroundings. Look around and talk quietly in English. For example, the street is busy today. That child looks excited. The coffee smells sweet. You do not need perfect grammar. You just need words. Another exercise is asking yourself questions and answering them in English. You can think, what will I do tonight? I will go for a walk and relax. When you ask and answer your own questions, you are training conversation. You can also practice instant reactions. If something happens, describe it immediately. If the weather changes, think, the rain is starting. If something tastes good, think, this soup is delicious. These short reactions train your brain to use English as your first response. Even 5 minutes a day is enough to build new habits. The goal is not to sound smart. The goal is to make English automatic. When English becomes the voice in your head, speaking feels easier, and real conversations become less scary. What should you do when you forget a word? This is one of the biggest fears for learners. When a word disappears from your memory, you may feel embarrassed, and your mind may want to switch back to your first language. But forgetting a word is normal. Even native speakers forget words and explain ideas in a different way. For example, if you forget the word stove, you can say, "the place where I cook." If you cannot remember garage, you can say, "the room for the car." When you describe things instead of stopping, you train your brain to stay in English. This builds real fluency because real communication is about ideas, not perfect vocabulary. Every time you find another way to explain something, your confidence grows. You learn that you can survive in English even when you miss a word. And over time, the lost words come back naturally. So instead of panicking, breathe, relax, and stay in English. You will be surprised how strong your brain becomes when you stop stopping yourself. How can you build confidence while thinking in English? Confidence does not appear suddenly. It grows from small successes. When you understand a sentence without translating, notice it. When you are able to speak even a short phrase without thinking of your first language, celebrate it. These little victories show that your brain is changing. Confidence also grows from communication, not from silence. The more you speak, the more comfortable you become. Remember, most people are not judging you. In fact, they respect anyone who learns a second language. Confidence also increases when you accept small mistakes. Mistakes mean you are learning. And when you continue speaking, even with errors, your brain feels safe staying in English. Confidence is not a gift that some people have and others do not. Confidence is a skill that you can build. By practicing daily thoughts, watching English content, and allowing yourself to speak without fear, you are training a confident mind. With time, English will not feel like a foreign tool. It will feel like your own voice. How do you keep this habit for the long term? Thinking in English is not something that changes in one day, but it changes faster than many people believe. The secret is consistency. Instead of studying for many hours once a week, do small daily practice. You can set simple goals. For example, think in English for 5 minutes every morning, or describe your plans before you go to bed. You can join online communities, find speaking partners, or participate in language exchange sessions. Real communication gives your brain strong motivation. Another helpful habit is journaling in English. When you write about your thoughts, ideas, and feelings, you connect deeply with the language. You do not need perfect spelling or perfect grammar. Just write naturally. You can also choose topics you enjoy, such as movies, sports, travel, cooking, or personal goals. When English is connected to your real life, it becomes easier to think in it. If you stay patient and regular, you will see a big change in a few weeks, not years. What will change when you finally think in English? When English becomes the language of your thoughts, many things become easier. You speak faster because you are not translating. You listen better because your brain is not switching between two languages. You express emotions more confidently because you are not searching for every word. You understand jokes, expressions, and small details in conversation. You feel closer to native speakers and more comfortable in international environments. When you think in English, the language becomes part of your identity. It opens doors to new friendships, work opportunities, and travel experiences. Communication stops feeling like a test and starts feeling like a natural part of life. You no longer feel nervous every time you speak. Instead, you feel curious, relaxed, and confident. This transformation begins with small steps, short thoughts, simple words, and daily practice. If you stay consistent, your brain will adapt. So start today. The more you think in English, the closer you get to real fluency, natural communication, and a stronger version of yourself. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. Your support means so much. It keeps this space alive and growing. With love, thank you for being here, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you.